And so I joined, 2 weeks ago, and I've just since built out my website, did all the things you need to do to get set up, and have started actually getting out and getting clients, right? So got my first company, just by seeing a van drive by with a Gmail address to contact, and called them up on the phone, and in one day was able to get a conversation going. And I spent all morning this morning with him going over setting up HighLevel for him.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
It's a great deal.
Man.
$500, down, and $1,000 a month, right? So
A few weeks ago, I was on one of our private coaching calls, and on these calls, we discuss what's going on in our online business that I started a while back. It's called Mina Marketing, and these calls are private, right? They're where we share insider information on what's actively working at a higher level within the organization. This is the type of stuff that really helped us lock in and allow us to be recognized as the second fastest growing company here in Hawaii just last year. Now, a week or so ago on one of these calls, we were talking about upselling AI software and increasing our subscription recurring income. And one of our members unmuted and shared some of his results with us. And to be real with you, I was caught a little off guard because he was kind of quiet at first, and then he just dropped some serious bombs on me. And I actually tried to get a hold of him for probably a week, maybe even 2 weeks. I actually had to have my assistant go through our database, get his contact info, and find him on Facebook and friend him to get a hold of him. And I was able to get him here to discuss what exactly he's been up to and how he's been crushing it, so we can get some wins and take away some action steps for ourselves. So with that, I would like everyone to meet Scotty. How's it going, man?
Hey everybody, Scotty actually from Los Angeles right now. So working 24/7 to get this gig going. And, you got to do what you got to do, right? So thanks, Nick, for bringing me on. I love what you guys are doing. So
yeah, of course. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it. And, I want to get some good conversation going. But before we kind of dive deep into, where you're at and what you're doing now, what were you doing before you jumped into, making money online, AI, digital marketing, that sort of thing? Maybe you could paint a little bit of a picture for us.
Well, for basically 40 something years, I was in technology. I sold everything on the internet back in '99, started a bunch of startups. In the last 25 years, working for cybersecurity companies, a $6 billion company, actually selling anti-ransomware and protecting companies like NVIDIA from getting hacked, and like Global Atomics right here in San Diego from getting hacked. And it's all about cybersecurity. It's doing really well, best years ever. And then, of course, we had COVID, and then some things happened. I got to work for this company called Keysight, and unfortunately got doing some AI business, doing some automations and so forth. And our company, like a lot of companies, once you put AI in, a lot of jobs are no longer needed, right? So you kind of AI yourself out of a job. I basically, like in end of 2023, got laid off. And so for the last year, I've been doing my own AI business. And I got picked up by a company called Sling Pilot Academy to help them automate their business and grow 3 locations. So I sold $1.8 million in the second quarter of this year as a contractor. And I was using HighLevel. I was like, wow, this HighLevel thing is fantastic. Yeah. So that's kind of my background right now. So it's just kind of, when I saw what you guys are doing, I didn't know it was HighLevel at first. And then when I realized you guys were using HighLevel, I was like, wait, I just got through doing that. 6 months, I killed it. So
well, that's kind of a coincidence.
I came over here. Totally coincidence. It was like, well, I knew you guys from way back in the day when you guys launched your first directory. You guys were just getting going. And I think you're on Maui. I don't know if you're on Kauai now, but
no, I'm on Maui,
that's how I met you. I logged in, I was on your team, Offline Sharks. Both you guys lived there in Hawaii at the time. Mm-hmm. And when I saw you guys come up again, I'm like, oh, look, they've got a new gig and it's AI. Yeah. And okay, now's the time. It's the gold rush, man. Let's go. And so I joined, 2 weeks ago, on the 18th, like 3 weeks ago now, of June. and I've just since built out my website, did all the things you need to do to get set up, and have started actually getting out, getting clients. Right, it's got my first person, actually, first company, just by seeing a van drive by with a Gmail address to contact, and called him up on the phone and asked him, hey, you don't have your own website? He's like, no, well, we do, but we use Gmail. And I said, we should have something, more professional. He's like, yeah, we should. And literally in one day, was able to get a conversation going. And I spent all morning this morning with him going over setting up HighLevel for him.
Wow,
So
that's awesome,
it's a great deal.
man.
$500, down, and 1,000 a month, right? So it's a pretty good deal.
Wow, yeah. Okay, so you said a bunch of stuff, and I want to jump into HighLevel and all that stuff. But okay, so before we do, how long we crossed paths? Originally, you came
10 years ago.
Damn.
When you first did your first directory, and you and Tom were both living in Maui, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where I first tried to sync up with you guys.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, and so you were doing cybersecurity. You phased yourself out accidentally, basically, with AI and innovations with AI, which I think a lot of people are seeing. And then you started to do your own thing. Have you had have you had any second thoughts? Because I know going out and doing your own thing is tough. What would you say to anybody out there right now? It's like looking at the AI opportunity, and maybe they already have a job, or maybe they just lost their job. What would you say to that person about, how the waters are over here?
The waters are fine. Got to get in now. Get in. If you don't take advantage of it, it will take advantage of you. Other people are out there getting ahead of you, but it's not too late. It's so early in the game. I mean, you can do so much with so little. And, I think that in terms of anybody wanting to make a new career, right? And you can even wing walk, do something. That's what I did my entire corporate life. I want to be able to kind of leave a legacy, and this AI is going to be the legacy. I really believe that, dude. It's not too late. We're actually early in the game. So many things are happening so fast. So that's my take on what I would say, buddy. I talk to people every day, and I say, listen, if you're not using ChatGPT, then use Perplexity. If you're not using Perplexity, then use Claude, or use Grok. I mean, then I explain the differences. So I try to be evangelist for it, just because people should use these things and be good at it, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I totally agree. And what's crazy is, like, I thought I was late kind of getting into AI and really starting to make some changes in the business. And I agree with you. Like, from everything that I'm seeing, all the coolest stuff is yet to be built. We really are at the very beginning of this thing. We're just at the tip of the iceberg. So, for anybody that's looking from the outside looking in, like, it's a great time to actually get excited. But, you said you had a background in cybersecurity. I know there's a lot of people that, like, don't have a technical background. How has having, I mean, it sounds like you have a technical skill set. How has that skill set been for you diving into this? And, is it not a place for people that have zero tech? Maybe they don't speak tech as their first language?
Well, actually, the reason why I can go so fast is because of my technical background. I built HTML websites, right? And then I did WYSIWYG. And so it's kind of like, okay, I want the easy route. I want to press the easy button. This is pressing the easy button. It's like, you don't have to have any technical skills. You literally just need to listen and follow along, and attend all the trainings. But AI for me means all in. If you're not all in, man, you're missing the boat. I mean, because you can only do it part-time, right? So I put that up on my LinkedIn, right? We're all in. Like, right when I went to Jensen Huang's GTC, when he announced that we were at an inflection point with AI, with ChatGPT, he rolled it out. I said, okay. I actually was the first person in line at his GTC 2023 in San Jose, explaining how he was building out these big AI data centers, right? So that's how all in I was. I paid $800 to get in the door just to listen to him talk, and I was in the first row. So so when it comes time, you gotta just go for it and don't hold back, because other
Hmm.
people get ahead of you, right? The race has
Yeah.
just begun. So you want to get on the pole position after qualifying, right? And then you got a good shot at it. It's like F1.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I've noticed is like in the beginning, because I used to be a mechanic, used to work on cars, turning wrenches was my thing. And in the beginning, when I first started, my first thing that I sold too was a website. And I was using those like drag and drop builders,
Yep.
and I didn't have a tech background. And I was like doing some research trying to figure out how to add some CSS code to like update the design, and I could like kind of fake it but barely make it work, and I usually would break stuff and like need help, but I still made it work, and it was kind of like I was living between this world of like having a technical skill set and just trying to like fake it to make it work, but I was constantly searching for that. What I've noticed, or searching for the ability to grow even more. What I've noticed since I've been using tools like ChatGPT and Gemini and Manus AI, like the agents, autonomous agents and stuff like that, is that world of like unknown and being kind of handcuffed by the technology thing. I haven't had that experience anymore, because when I reach an obstacle or an issue, there's just solutions now. And the solution is to like go to one of these LLMs, go to these AI tools, ask for the solution, and then ask another one if it can help you to implement the solution. So, are you also kind of doing that as well? Do you find yourself using your technical skill set a little less now that you have, I mean, these are like employees, they're not just software tools. They're like new members of my team. That's how I kind of feel.
Well, I use it as a second pair of eyes, right, on every single thing I do. But then,
Mhm.
because I don't trust ChatGPT, because it'll tend to give you what you want to hear, and
Yeah, it
it's like
does.
it's on mushrooms, man. It's hallucinating, right? So
Yeah.
what is up with this? It's telling me
Hmm.
something that's not right, and
And
I'll
you're
just
like, what's that? And it's like, yeah, you're right. I was
yes,
wrong. I'm sorry.
exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't be correcting
Correct.
them.
Yeah.
You're the intelligence one, right? So,
Yeah, I
but
know what you
I
mean.
call my company LA Smart AI. So basically, you can have AI, but you
Hmm.
have to have double, checks and balances on it. So I
Hmm.
use Perplexity to double check ChatGPT, and then I'll use like everything I do. My kids will say, "Hey, Dad, what do you think of this?" I said, "Did you ask Perplexity yet?" No. Well, until you ask Perplexity, don't come to me. And they go on there,
Hmm.
and so all my kids use AI, right? And
Nice.
for everything. So no, I really, there's nothing we can't do now, right? I mean, I
Nice.
probably will never build a rocket ship, right? But I could
Sure.
probably build the plans to build a rocket ship, right? Because
Yeah.
literally, and I did that. I did a drone that could carry a human, like 400 kilometers in, right? And it's like with things you could buy in a hardware store, right? All
Hmm.
sorts, and they actually came up with a schema and everything. I didn't do it because it's just like I just wanted to see if I could be that technical without not really being technical, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great time to be doing this.
Nice. And so I've been seeing you join the Facebook group. Actually, you've probably been in there for a while, or did you just recently join?
Well, I just recently joined because I was just getting my website up and everything and doing
Okay.
all the high level
Yep.
training, right?
Yep. 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 Okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate all the stuff that you've been sharing, and I've been seeing some of the stuff that you've made, like this video here with VO3, which is kind of a strategy that I've been talking about too,
Well,
using
that
Manus
one was
AI.
actually made with Mango, and I
Uh-huh.
used Leonardo to create the image. Use ChatGPT actually because it can do the text, right? And
Yep.
then I used Mango to generate the voiceover.
Nice.
And the other one was actually VO, which is the gorilla, right? I did that
Yeah.
one right there.
Right.
That's total AI VO3. Use ChatGPT to create the prompt, put it in there,
Yeah.
and it created that. That's my Yeti, a spokes Yeti,
I love it. I love it.
right?
And
Yeah.
what's cool about that is like you tied it into, creating kind of that viral thing, right? The Yeti is kind of going viral for
Yes.
making these types
Yep.
of clips.
Right.
But, a lot of people are like, how do I make money with this thing? Which has kind of been my mindset. Like, these tools are cool, but like the best way that I can use them, or at least manage them on my end, is like, I want to figure out how I can monetize these things. And so, you know, we have always offered like social media posting and social media content, and like having to, for small businesses, right? We usually get paid, a few $100 to $1,000 a month by helping businesses post on their social media. People get it wrong because they're usually trying to sell the service of getting more results with their social posting service. But the service we sell is just activity. We're posting activity on these business profiles to look busy and in business. But anyway, the seeing you come in and monetize this stuff, can you talk a little bit about like some of the results that you've gotten? I've noticed that like over the last couple of weeks, you've gotten a couple clients, right?
Well, I just posted this like this week, right? So I got everything ready. Then I said, okay, now I have the website up. I created my chat widget going, right? So when I could demonstrate it to somebody, so you got to show some sort of ability to do the job you're going to say you're going to do. And so
get your foot in the door.
Yeah, the foot in the door was okay. I decided after going through all this, obviously you could go after the websites, but what I wanted to do, a lot of people have websites. So I thought, look, let's give them an add-on that I don't have to build a website, but I can let them try it. So I thought I'll do a 2-week trial. I'll create these widgets, and then I'll call somebody and say, listen, I'm not going to build your website, but what I could do is give you capability so you never miss a call. That happened. So as I said, I was driving down the freeway. I saw that van that had the Gmail address on it. And I thought, well, he probably doesn't have a website, so I'll call him. And I called him, and he said he did have a website, but he was really interested because the day I called him, which was 2 days ago, Monday, he said, yeah, my secretary's out. She's pregnant, didn't come into work today. Her assistant didn't show up, and I'm answering the phone. I said, would it be better if you had a virtual assistant, that answer the phone for you and it's automated? And he's like, yeah, I mean, if I could do that, but how would I do that? And I said, well, we put a chatbot on your website for you. And I said, I'll do that for $300. I'll give you 2 weeks to free trial, and I'll put it on there for you, and just give me access to I'll put the widget on there, put a little snippet of code. And he goes, okay, that'd be great. And so basically I said, look, I got on a call with last night on a Zoom call. It's at 5:30 to 6:30, and I had his pregnant secretary on the call too. And he goes, hey, introduced, and then I showed him the widget work, and I said, here, go to my website, and he could click on the live chat. He goes, he did that. It comes up, hey, what's your telephone number, name? He put that in there. It then loaded up on HighLevel as a contact, and I had his secretary see that it came right in, and now I showed them where they would be able to talk back and forth. I then went ahead and I said, hey, and then I took over the live chat from it within HighLevel and started chatting with my customer who was on my website just to show him how it worked. And we went back and forth. He goes, I'm talking to you? I said, yeah, the first one was the bot, and then I took over the bot, and she's watching it going, you're talking to Jack through the website? I said, yeah, this is what we're going to get you. And so that's how it all kind of transpired last night, right?
That's awesome. And so, I know some people that are watching this have never heard of HighLevel before. So I'm going to give you kind of like the quick, 10,000 foot view. So HighLevel is a software tool that we use to run our business. And I'm going to give you kind of a little demo. It's what we call white label software, where we can rename it to our own company name. So mine's called Mind of Marketing. What have you renamed HighLevel to in your
LA Smart AI?
LA Smart AI.
Yeah.
So
go LA Smart AI, right? Yeah.
Nice. And so what it is it's a white label software suite of tools. So you can, I'm not going to dive too deep in this, everybody, but you can essentially do things like create websites without having to code. You can add chat widgets like Scotty just said, and you can add them to websites. You can create social media posting with AI and connect all of your social media platforms and schedule posts to go out. You can create a database of all of your contacts, and you can send them emails and text messages. You can create form like contact forms that can go on websites. And when people submit those contact forms, their contact information gets added to this tool in the contact section. So you can send emails and build your database and monetize everything, right? And not only can you do this for your own business, but you can resell all these tools and give them what's called a sub account to all of your clients. And that's what we do. Like, that was one of the ways that we really ramped up and became the second fastest growing company in Hawaii over the last couple of years, is because we started integrating these AI software tools with the marketing services that we are selling. And it really helped us to create a very sticky service where people just started to use the tool, but in using the tool, they became they got so much value out of it that the combination of the tool with our services just became something that they couldn't live without. So we've been able to generate a lot of subscription income. And so, it does take work to do these things. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh my God, you're going to, push a button, it's going to all just fall into place for you. But I'm lifting up the hood of my business, and Scotty's sharing what's working with him or for him. What could happen for you if you put in the work, but you do have to put in the work. And, at the end of the day, everything that we're talking about, getting clients, using these tools, I go even deeper in the 4-part AI fast track training that, where I share with you how to get more customers, but I also give you a free 30-day trial to HighLevel. If you want to try it, you can use it. It's not required, but it's included in the 4-part AI fast track training. And correct me if I'm wrong, Scotty, that's where you kind of stumbled back into this thing. Did you pick up the 4-part fast track training?
I picked up the 4-part, I picked up the VIP, and then I picked up the the actual upgrade on that, because it's worth it. Because you can't do this alone, honestly. At the beginning, you can. It's just take you a long time. But if you follow the experts like you guys and the way that you set this up, it allows people to basically force multiply, right? Instead of having like just you and just your guys help. The beautiful thing about HighLevel that I like is that I get unlimited tech support. Literally, they walk me through everything I didn't know. And when I made a mistake, I go right back on there. I spend 8 hours of the day on the phone, on Zoom, having them show me how to do it. And then I'd forget it and do it again, and no problem. So you won't get that anywhere. I mean, instant Zoom meeting, right? And you got a problem, they fix it for you. Now I don't have to worry about making sure that I'm compliant with my SMS system. Everybody has a problem with for their campaigns. They go in there, and a lot of people don't know you can utilize them as your VA, your virtual assistant. They're there, and so that ability just makes it easier. You can do so much when you have somebody there, backing you up. And they've got, I don't know, thousands of people. It must be, because I'm on there so often, and that's part of the program, right?
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. They HighLevel. So, if you've heard of it before, or if you're just hearing it for the first time now, it really is like it's an incredible software suite of tools. And I actually didn't come on here to just plug HighLevel. I actually came on here to talk about how we're growing our business. But the fact that you're mentioning the support is an important piece, because yes, it is a software suite of tools, AI automation and marketing platform. In fact, they just got recognized as like they have the most installations than any other website platform on the internet for marketing and automation, which I thought was super cool. And that was discovered on the Built With platform, which is a super powerful tool that we've been using for a long time too, which means that everybody's starting to use them, right? They're getting widely adopted because they work so well. But beyond that, they really have this international development and support team that is so helpful and supportive. And like you said, like I've gotten on countless Zoom calls with them. Like whenever I have an issue, they get in Zoom calls, and you're like, here's my issue. They talk you through it. And I'm like, by the way, while I have you here, I'm got a question about this. I got a question about that. So it is kind of like a little mentorship that's just included with the tool. I've never really seen software that offered such high level support like that. And, that's kind of what we aim to offer in our own software and Smart Directory AI is like we've been modeling our support after them. I mean, we've always taken the approach of like we want to invest in a great support team for our customers, and we've always done that, and they're kind of the next level. They set the bar pretty well.
Yeah, and I just I think it's fantastic. You know, I can't say anything bad about anything that's happened since I've joined, right? So
Nice. Appreciate the feedback. So, we talked a lot about kind of like where you started, what you've been working on, and the tools that you're using, HighLevel. What would you say? What was the first thing that really started to click for you in when you joined the fast track or you started dabbling with AI? Because I know you mentioned installing the chat widget for some people. That's kind of what it was for me. It was like I installed the chat widget on somebody's website as a foot in the door. And then I was really able to start to unlock all the different tools in HighLevel and offer AI stuff to them. What was it for you?
well, one thing is it's kind of overwhelming, right? Because there's so many different services that you can pick and choose, and you're like, well, I don't know how to do this. I can't do that. I've never done this, right? So I kind of distilled it down to, I always work in the threes, right? If you can do three things, top three things, be really good at those, and then add the others. So, because there was not really an indication of the path to take. Like it was like, okay, you can do a website and you could sell ads, right? And I'm like, well, I don't know how to do ads. I could figure it out, but so I went ahead and I got the chat widget to work just like you did. I'm like, look at this is great, and it was everything I thought it would be. I trained it as well. And then I had my friend go in there and he asked it a bunch of questions, and it gave him all the information about because I used your agency website, right? And I trained it on the agency website. He asked it a bunch of questions, and he's like, dude, it's taking everything off your website and just giving me that without having to read the website. I said, yeah, is that great? He goes, hey, can you build a chat bot that could go into my Confluence directory that I have, and then could maybe have a talk and everything? Because my technicians won't go in there because it's too complicated to dig it and route for it. They use Google. But if I gave them a chatbot, they could ask the chatbot something. They would probably use it more often, because right now they're taking too much time. I said, yeah. So that's a side note. I'm actually helping my friend make his business more efficient. So that was it got me going. And then I just saw the how you could help people who don't have that. It's that thing. If they have a problem, that's the biggest problem. Is they lose customers who go to their website and leave. And the people we're talking to, when they go to their website, they leave, they go to the competitor. So it's like, well, you don't want to have people going to the competitor. So I'm solving that problem, right? What happens when people go to your website and they don't get a hold of you? Do you ever see them again? Oh, no. So that was the kind of the nexus. And then I added on the other two things I thought would be good, which were the social media, because they don't have time for that. They're out, like right now it's hot, right? So all the HVAC guys, they're not putting posts. They don't have anybody to do posts, right?
Right.
And so really just coming up with, a top three there. And the last one was reputation management, right? For reviews. So that's the other thing everybody looks for. They go to Yelp, they go to Google, they look for reviews. So I looked at the top three things that I could bring value by showing them how I could help them increase that. And now I'm going to learn the rest of the stuff, right? So that's kind of how it evolved.
Nice. So, man, so how many clients do you have now?
Well, actually, only one that I'm working on, right? But tonight before I got on the phone with you, I built my HVAC website, right, off of your guys' templates, and I built the logos and everything for quality, air conditioning and heating. And then I went on and I had used the prospecting tool in HighLevel. Found some people that didn't have the website, and it was actually quality. A lot of people have quality air conditioning. So as it turns out, the one I made, it was a beautiful logo. I built a website. Now I have a website for anybody. I could just go up there and change the logo. And so tonight I spent an hour just prospecting, but then I got after 5 o'clock, and those guys kind of shut down because they start early. So my goal was to get 4 paying customers in July. That's
Well,
my
you've
goal.
been at it for a couple of weeks now, and you already got your first $1,000 a month customer, right?
Yeah, well, he's going to do the 2-week trial, but I basically created the invoice for him already
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in HighLevel. It's for the
Mm-hmm.
$500 for setup, and then but
Setup.
now that he has a problem with his website, he wants me to take over the website, so I'm going to charge him another $250. So it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
$750 down, and then after the 2 weeks, because I already know your stuff's going to work, so I said, okay, I'm going to invoice him for the subscription service, which you also do through Stripe in HighLevel. I'll give it to him, and then he'll have it. And so actually, on the 2-week end, it'll actually bill him, right? He'll show him up and say, "Here's the $1,000 you owe. Let's goes. You want to keep this going? You pay the bill, right?" And he'll
Mm-hmm.
pay the bill on his credit card, and I'm good to go. And then a subscription. It's every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it covers. I mean, the cost for me actually, on other than what I've already paid, because I'm doing the agency model for unlimited websites, right? So it's the
Mm-hmm.
reality is I've already paid that.
Yeah.
So on an ongoing basis, I'm not going to pay that again. It's probably about, I don't know, $150, and I'm making 1,000, right?
Yeah.
All that goes straight to me, because all I'm doing at that point is, once I spend an hour doing social media posts, which I use in ChatGPT to create, and then I
Mm-hmm.
post them inside the calendar, and 2 a week, and it's already you can spend like an hour and a half of doing that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hands free. I mean, you're basically able to do that kind of thing. So I'm
Yeah.
actually rolling that out, right, and creating more, because you have to have assets. You got to show people what you can do, and I
Right.
think that's the other part of why I like to do it, because then you can show it in your Facebook group. People will
Yeah.
give you comments, how you can improve it, right?
For
There's a
sure.
real team oriented thing there. So I anticipate tomorrow. I left a bunch of messages because everybody was gone, and
Mm-hmm.
but there's a bunch of people that'll be able to use that website I created. So
Yeah. Nice. And yeah, again, I really like how you have been using the Facebook group. I'm gonna pull it up again for anybody that's watching here. We have a free Facebook group. There's over 21,000 members here. Scotty's one of them. He's in here. You know,
actually keep scrolling down. You can show them that logo that I created for the customer. There you
this
go,
one.
quality
Yep.
HP. That's it. And I took the
Yep.
same logo. I put it on the van. All right, that's
Nice.
all.
Yeah. Look at it. It looks killer.
Right,
I mean, I used to have to hire graphic designers to do that type of thing,
totally.
and you just use AI to do
10
it.
minutes.
And now you're charging money for it, which is great.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, I love the way you're using the group. Everybody that's watching, this Facebook group is free. You can go there if you want. You'll see Scotty in there too. Other people, just like, use the group. Like, that's one thing about our community is, like, we set up a support infrastructure. Like, the community is all about helping each other out, sharing what's working, what's not working, because that can be just as valuable too. So you don't end up going down the wrong rabbit hole. And if you're thinking about maybe getting started with this, or you already have some traction in your business and you're really just looking to take it to the next level, consider joining the 4-part AI fast track training. If you comment below this video, I'll send you a link where you can get 30 days free to HighLevel plus the 4-part AI fast track training. So yeah, just kind of final question, Scotty, before we get out of here. If someone's watching this and kind of wondering, like, if building an online business or adding AI to their existing business to, kickstart it would work for them, what would you say? What would you say to them? What would you say? Maybe you could give them one thing that they could do to kind of get some traction as quickly as possible.
I would just say that definitely get on one of your calls, right, where you talk about it a little bit more in depth about what you can do and what that 4-part series is all about. I mean, the first time I did that, I was like, okay, I'm in, right? Yeah, I could tell that it was something that resonated with me. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
just me. There was, I think, 200 people or something on that call, right, that
Mm-hmm.
were listening. So you could tell that there was, we're at the ground floor, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to, believe in that, because it's true, and it only gets better. I mean, and you can learn the skills that you can use for life. It helps your daily living and getting things done. So that's what I would
Oh
say.
yeah,
Start to do
nice.
it.
And I totally agree.
Don't wait.
I have become, without like trying to, in my circle of friends, family, people that know me professionally, in
Yep.
the hobbies and sports and things that I do, like the person that people talk to about AI. And it's an exciting thing to talk about. It's fun. I'm always learning new things, always have a lot of new information to share. For a lot of people, that in itself is like a really cool thing to be a part of and involved in, because it's like it's new, it's getting bigger, and it can be extremely profitable. So yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that, and and letting me kind of bring that up too. And so, look, you guys, Scotty is not a unicorn. He has taken action. He's followed the steps. He's continuing to take action. That's really what is required. I'm not like the most technical, smartest person you have ever met, but I'm ambitious and I'm willing to learn and be teachable and grow. And so that's really what it requires to do this. And with AI, as we have mentioned, it allows most people for the first time ever to really kind of get in and have the opportunity to participate in this new economy of technology, rather than the old economy where you had to really kind of be in person to make your living. So, it's just an exciting time. And yeah, Scotty, I
Well,
appreciate you being here, man. Any final words?
yeah, I would just say this. Look, I may not look it, but I might look it. I'm 66 years old. All right. Okay. And if I can do it, anybody could do it. Back in the day, when the internet started, all these new companies were all a bunch of young kids get there figuring it out, right? Shooting from the hip. You don't have to do that. You can be any age. It allows you to kind of democratize, level set the field. The playing field is equal for everybody. So you're never too old, and you're never too young. You just got to go do it. So that would be my advice. Don't let your age or your ability to be technical hold you back.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for taking action and being a great example. Appreciate you being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you. Aloha. Thank you very much.